And the Trump administration is considering a suspension of habeas corpus as a way to allow the president to deport migrants without due process. But does the president have such power for this particular purpose? Joining us now is former U.S. Attorney Paul Charlton, a partner at Dentons. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's just start with the absolute basics. Habeas corpus, what does it mean? What does it do?
Habeas corpus is a Latin phrase. It means literally, you have the body. But in layperson's terms, Ted, it means, Judge, Your Honor, make the government explain why this person is in custody. It's a powerful tool that's been with us since the founding of our country. It's enshrined in the United States Constitution, and it allows us to know that there is due process being afforded to everybody who's held by the government in custody.
Everyone in the U.S. have that right?
Everyone, including people, I guess most notoriously now, who have been here unlawfully. Even people who are members of gangs are entitled to due process. So says the U.S. Supreme Court.
In other words, I can't accuse you of being in the gang unless I can prove it.
That's exactly what due process means. It means you're entitled to have the government prove that we, the government, should be able to keep you in custody. And habeas corpus says, I can go to court and say, Judge, I want you to make the government prove that I should remain in custody.
All right, habeas corpus, it has been suspended, I think 3 or 4 times in U.S. history.
4 times.
Talk about those times.
So 4 times, going back in history, the U.S. Constitution under Article 1, which is typically where we find the powers for the U.S. Congress, says that you can suspend the privilege of habeas corpus if there is a war or a rebellion, and we need to keep society safe. So, if you want to think about rebellions, Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus during the Civil War. He did so on his own, but because of so much criticism and a single U.S. Supreme Court justice who found that it was unlawful for President Lincoln to have done so, Congress, when it came back in session, ratified the suspension of habeas corpus. It happened after Pearl Harbor, and President Roosevelt said, for the geographic area surrounding Hawaii, we're going to suspend habeas corpus because there has literally been a war, an invasion of Japanese forces on a U.S. naval base. So war or rebellion are typically the instances in which, in our history, you'd see habeas corpus rescinded.
The Trump administration says that we are now in one of those times. We are now in a time of invasion. Does that make sense to you?
The typical word, the word in the way we would understand invasion, means something like Pearl Harbor. And courts in other contexts have found that invasion means an army invading the United States. What could happen, though, is if they go about this the way in which the Constitution and constitutional scholars would want, you have to go to the Congress and say, we want the privilege of habeas corpus rescinded or suspended. You would then have to get the Congress to agree that there is, in fact, an invasion, and whether that would happen or not seems very unclear.
And that's the question here. Can it be unilaterally imposed by the executive, by one guy? Because you keep mentioning Congress. It seems like Congress is playing a bigger part here than the executive. How does that work?
The law is pretty clear that the president cannot, by himself, declare the suspension of habeas corpus. And if you think about it, there's a very good deal of logic behind that thinking, Ted, because it is the executive branch which is arresting people. If the executive branch then says, we no longer have to deal with the courts, I can hold people in custody, I can deny them the right to have a due process hearing to determine whether I'm holding them lawfully, then you really are kind of setting up a self-defeating purpose. You're not allowing due process or habeas corpus to work the way in which it should, which is to say a separate branch of government puts a check on the executive and says, hold on just a minute, we want another branch of government, the court, to make certain that you, the executive, are detaining and holding people in custody lawfully.
What if the court has already decided that the executive can do whatever he wants if he thinks the country's security is at risk?
We'll have to see. This is an issue, should the president go forward with this idea or this concept, we'll have to see what it is the U.S. Supreme Court, because this would certainly be an issue that the U.S. Supreme Court would decide, what they would say.
How would you, let's say, honestly, it's kind of already happened with the one individual there in El Salvador, but on a grander scale, what would happen? Would the courts come in? Would the Congress have to go to the courts, as you mentioned? I mean, is that the process that has to be taken? How does it work?
The way it has worked in the past, absent this one event in which Lincoln, who was worried that the United States Capitol was going to be overtaken by Confederate troops,
Yes.
so he suspended habeas corpus for the period of time that Congress was out of session. That's the only exception to that whole event taking place. Otherwise, you have to go to the United States Congress and say, we have an invasion. In this instance, that's the administration's view. We want you, United States Congress, to suspend the writ of habeas corpus. The risk, of course, Ted, is that, and I know this from having been a federal prosecutor for 16 years, sometimes the government gets it wrong. We aren't always 100% correct when we detain people and we believe we've detained somebody for the right reasons. Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you could detain a United States citizen, not somebody who's here unlawfully. And you want to afford everyone, people who are here unlawfully and United States citizens, the opportunity to go to court and say, hold on just a minute, I or they ought not to be detained.
So when the Trump administration, well, President Trump himself says it's an option that we're looking at, I mean, how far can he go with that?
So in the first part of this, I would say that's a lot of discussion. It appeals to a certain aspect of his supporters, a certain group of his supporters, most certainly. But to truly go forward with this as just an executive decision, I think you could see all sorts of court hearings that would take place immediately and the U.S. Supreme Court weighing in immediately. To take the more appropriate step, which would be, we believe that the writ of habeas corpus should be suspended. I'm now going to go to Congress. There'd be a great deal of debate in that regard, and we have actually heard from some leaders on the Republican side, especially in the Senate, who have expressed some reservation about the idea of suspending the writ of habeas corpus.
And real quickly, I saw this quote from someone in the administration saying that the courts cannot overrule the president's decisions on how, where, and when immigrants are deported. The courts cannot overrule those decisions. Is that just talk? Is there something there?
That is performative, and it is sort of interesting, again, to a certain group of people. But when they've tried those arguments in court, Ted, they've almost uniformly lost. And importantly, in every instance, including the U.S. Supreme Court, what they have said is, even people who are here unlawfully are entitled to due process. We have to prove, we, the government, have to prove that we can hold these people in custody.
Interesting. Paul Charlton, again, former U.S. Attorney with Denton's. Boy, it's interesting times, aren't
It sure is.
Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.